And so it's a different thing than, for example, a book about someone who's like 22. Like and especially given how much journey that person has been on, and in the scale of things being written about versus 24 years. Does that sort of make sense? Like the proportionality of a book compared to his life, for him, I think was not as sort of life-changing as it would be for like me. If someone wrote a book about me, it'd be really weird. Not the book would be weird, it'd feel weird. The book would be great. So I actually think he's pretty even-keeled. He had to develop that skill set, or else he wouldn't have survived. In terms of how it's changed me, I think I have a little bit more credibility with editors now, because I can say I did this. You don't have to wonder if I have a skill set. I proved I could do it. And so part of it is professional. I heard someone whisper, you should ask your wife, which is a great suggestion that I am terrified to follow. You know what I think? The weird thing about writing a book is that a book takes so long that the person who starts it isn't the person who ends it. But it's not just that the book changed you, it's that you changed. Years pass. So it'd be challenging for me to pinpoint, it's kind of like a nature-nurture thing, it'd be challenging to me to pinpoint the ways in which 32-year-old Benjamin differs from 26-year-old Benjamin that are attributable to the experience of this book, versus that are just, I grew older, I changed, I developed from age 26 to 32. I'd love to say I have more confidence in my abilities, but I also know that you have to dig so deep to do a good job at stories like this that it's likely that I can sit in front of you and talk a good game about my self-esteem, and then I can be, on my next story, I'll be pulling my hair out, panicked, unable to sleep, not eating, thinking, oh my God, I'm doomed. So it feels overconfident to suggest that I have confidence. How's that for a sentence? But since it's a hometown crowd, Jacqueline?
Yeah.
Do you have an answer? How has the book changed me? Just talk to me. I'm Mike. Whisper in my ear. And just trust me.
Hi.
This is that sensational life partner I was talking about.
Right. So I will say that so I'll give you an example. So Benjamin would go into his office and he'd work these long days, these ridiculously long days. And I'd come home from work and he'd have to crawl out eventually because he has to eat. And he'll crawl out and he'll be like, I'm doomed. I'm doomed. I can't do this, it's not working, it's making me mad. I'm gonna punch a hole in the wall, because the wall was a Freytag pyramid in the murder board. And I would look at him, and he did it enough times through this process that I would eventually just look at him, and I would say, all right, so are you ready for dinner? And I just move on, because I knew, and he would get upset, and he asked, why are you being flippant with me?
There's this one really specific
and I said
moment
to him,
where I said,
yeah.
I don't think, she said, okay, well, that's good. I said, Jacqueline, you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
I'm not capable of writing a book. This isn't working. I've done all this work. There's no point. It's going to fail. I don't know what I'm doing. This is all for nothing.
Yeah.
And you remember what you said?
I think I said something like, right, you say that every time. You say that at every session, at every cluster,
I
at every
swear to you, that was news to me. There's this kind of weird amnesia where because a section takes so long to work on, in the beginning it's awful and hard, and then you figure it out. And so I'd figure it out, and I'd think, that wasn't that bad. And then you start another one, and you think, this is terrible, this is the worst. And I would just forget that I had been there before. And so I swear that it was news to me, and I realized, oh, I've been here before.
Yeah.
And I figured it out. I
So
swear to God.
So he has less of those moments now.
Because
He still has like the doomed moments, but they last less. Like they don't last as long.
you come to recognize the phases you're in.
Yeah.
And so if I feel overwhelmed, I think, well, Benjamin, you felt overwhelmed before and you figured it out. Maybe you'll figure it out this time. Whereas the first 6 times, in my brain, there was no precedent. Thanks, that wasn't that bad.
I mean, there are other stories, but we can share that later.
I think we're out of time.
You're curious. I got a lot of baggage.
That does feel like unless anyone has one final question.
One last question.
Okay.
We were just talking, I think this is your childhood friend, or somebody you know from your childhood, but is there any plans to record this as a book on tape, and who is going to be the reader?
It is a book on tape.
It is? Well,
Yeah, there's an audiobook put out by the publisher. I was asked if I wanted to read it, and I said, I've read these words enough. So they get voice actors to do it. And I got to choose, they did auditions, and they sent me the audio, and I got to choose the voice actor. It's this guy who does a great job. I mean, I haven't listened to the whole thing, because to me, that sounds like torture. But I've listened to portions, and he does a great job. The audio version is really wonderful. And in fact, I've heard from readers who experienced the book for the first time that way, which is sort of a weird thing for a writer, because I'm always thinking about the words on the page. But there are plenty of readers who've encountered this as an audiobook. He did a great job. You can get it through the publisher, yeah.
And if you have a Concord Public Library card, it's available on Libby.
Thank you very much, Concord.